If you're wanting to have the most accurate books that you possibly can have as an Amazon bookseller, this video is for you. I've gotten it down, narrowed it down to getting to be about 90 to 95% accurate. And there's a reason why I can't get 100% accurate as a bookseller. And I'll get more into that later on in the video. But I'm going to dive into my computer and show you exactly how I track everything with QuickBooks, Sellerboard, A2X, everything. That way you can understand that, in order to be the most accurate that you possibly can be, you have to do certain things. You have to pay for certain softwares and everything. And we'll get into that. So let's just dive in. So when it comes to these videos, or this video specifically, I wanted to dive really deep into how I do everything with QuickBooks and everything. So let's look at this. For QuickBooks, the biggest difference to be as accurate as you possibly can is you're gonna be considering your inventory as an asset, not just writing it off this year. So instead of putting on the profit and loss where you just write it off this year, like in the cash basis, we're gonna be putting it in as an asset, our inventory as an asset. So we're gonna be, every time our card gets charged, we're putting it right, where is it? Inventory, Amazon inventory, right here. So we're gonna be putting it into here and it's all gonna come on, right here, inventory books on hand. Thought that looked a little small. We're gonna be putting it right here in inventory. So every time our card gets charged, it comes into here. So now we have to be able to write this off as we sell it. And so the way we have to do that is we have to move, whenever we do sell a product, we have to move the COGS, or what it costs to buy that product, from here over to our profit and loss sheet right here. So whenever it gets into right here, product costs, this is what I'm able to write off, because this is the amount that my product cost me to buy this year. We are doing it, by the way, from January 1st to October 21st. So it's the whole entire year of 2025 so far. And this is what I'm able to write off. This means that I'm not able to write off the whole thing. And that is a big difference between like going cash basis, because in the cash basis, I was going to be able to write off the whole 36,000 that I had on my balance sheet. But right now, since I'm doing as accurate as possibly can, the only thing I can write off is what I've sold so far. And that in turn makes my net income pretty freaking high. And I'm gonna make another video I'm gonna move my numbers around to where it's a cash basis, and then make another video to show the difference between this number and what a cash basis number would be. But it would be significantly higher. Take 36,000 minus this, and that's what my net income would be, minus whatever it was on the balance sheet. But how do I get to this point? If I want to be the most accurate as I possibly can be, and to see where I'm at exactly, I need to have this number as accurate as possible every month. So here comes why I can't do the 100% accurate. Because what I'm doing to get this number right here is every month I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna compare what this number is on my balance sheet. I should just open up two different. I'm gonna compare the number that was in my inventory on my balance sheet to the number that I actually have in my inventory. So this number right here, I'm gonna compare this 36,447 to what's in my inventory. And how I track my inventory is I use Sellerboard. I'll put a link in the description down below if you guys wanna check it out. But I use Sellerboard to keep track of all of my inventory, because it's just the best way I've found to do it. So my stock history is right here. I come in here, I'm gonna do it for usually it would be the 31st if I'm doing it for the month, but since we're up here, we'll do that. And then I'll run it. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time, but not very long. Then we'll open this up right here, and this is what's gonna show us what our actual inventory valuation is. And this number is super important to have, especially come tax time. That way you can understand, what asset you have, like what number do you have still in inventory. So for me, I have $20,000, 790 in inventory. So I'll take the difference of that number and the difference of on the balance sheet and the difference of that number, and that's the number that I'm going to put in here, and that's what I get to write off. Not this whole 36,000, which in cash basis I would be able to write that off all right here. It would go into here if I was just doing it that way. But since we're doing it the most accurate that we can possibly be, which would be if for those who know, the accrual method as an accountant, you're gonna put it right here, or as to be the most accurate, and whatever the difference is from this number to this number is what you write off and you put right here. Because on the profit and loss sheet this is the sheet that tells you this is the number that they're gonna tax you on. So if you're gonna get taxed on a number, it's gonna be right here, this number. So you want it to be low if you want low taxes, but it's just how you want to do it. And now that's the biggest difference between being as accurate as possible or just simplifying it to be audit proof. You also have to take another step to be as accurate as you possibly can be. Because if you're just taking your Amazon deposits and you're just throwing it in Amazon sales and that's it, you're not getting any of the back end information like your refunds or anything, that's where you're gonna be kind of hurting. And this is where another tool comes into play. I don't have an affiliate link with these guys, but I will put a link in the description below, is A2X. So A2X is just a software that takes all the stuff from your back end of Amazon and it pulls it and it'll put it in as a deposit. I'll go ahead and pull up one of the deposits here. And it pulls it and it puts it in as a deposit right here into your Amazon sales. And so if we go to my latest one, which I don't think it's a very pretty one for this last month, if we click into here, A2X is pulling all the information that Amazon gives in its settlements. So what it's gonna do, if it'll ever open up, is it'll come in here and it'll auto-populate all of these. So Amazon fees, what I've owed it, what it's given to me, and FBA fees if you sell FBA, and then Amazon sales tax. It'll show you that number, which it should always zero out because they just handle that. But it's going to show you that number so that you have an idea what's being pulled. It's going to show you it's in your holding account, what your actual sales were, what your refunds were, and everything. Because the number that they deposited is, where is it? Amazon sales. Okay, so the Amazon sales is what they actually deposited, so it's right here. But what you actually made, and your carry balance, is going to be in here. So you have to be able to break these numbers down, because the IRS doesn't care what they deposited into your bank account. What they care about is what your actual sales number is. They want to know that number so that they can get a good idea of what your net income is. So if you're just doing the deposits, you have to go in there at the end of the year and make the adjustment so it matches. Or you have A2X do it for you throughout the year. Now A2X is not cheap. I think I pay $56 a month for it, on top of my $26 a month for QuickBooks, on top of $20-some for Sellerboard. It's not cheap to be super duper accurate, but this is how you do it. And then if you want to take it even further, you're gonna break down your everything to the max. you're also gonna have prep centers breakdown. Because if you look at your prep center and how the fee structure is broken down, you have, you know, the inspection and prep. For this is Central Virginia Preps, by the way. But you have your inspection and prep, your listing services, and then inspection and prep again for this order. These three right here is your cost of goods sold. This should be included in your buy price. I actually put this in my inventory because this is what it costed me to buy a book. You know, this doll, I think it's $225 per book. And so I'm adding this to my buy cost to inventory. Now, there's also, for Central Virginia Prep at least, they also charge you per box. So if you've got, you know, several boxes going out, like I think this one was just one, quantity 4. I had 4 here, so I got, the unit price was $1.51, so I ended up paying $6.04 in the standard book box. So this, I don't put in the cost of goods sold for the product cost, I put it in cost of goods sold for supplies. Because technically I'm buying a box, so it's my supplies. So I'm putting this in supplies, which would be on my profit and loss under prep center. Maybe I put it under, I put it under prep center fees. So that's a cost. And then on top of that, if you're like me, sometimes I forget to tell my prep center that stuff's coming. They charge, at least for Central Virginia Prep, they charge an unexpected inventory fee. So if I don't tell them that something's coming and they just get it and they have to, you know, put it in for me onto the Excel spreadsheet or the Google sheet, then they're gonna charge me $1 per product. And it looks like I missed 3 products for this invoice. So they're also gonna be charging that, which I put down here in the, where is it at? The prep center fees right here. And so for the whole year, I've paid $94 on products that I forgot to tell them that was coming in. So that's another aspect where you have to break this down completely, this to be as accurate as possible. Now, you can do all that, or you can do it just regularly and put it as, you know, COGS prep center fees. You know, I am honestly abandoning all of this accuracy. I want to keep the A2X because I really like the aspect of like being able to see how many Amazon fees I have, how many FBA fees I have. I really like that aspect, and seeing where my actual sales number is. I really like that aspect. That I think is worth the cost. However, the inventory aspect of it, I'm actually abandoning this level of accuracy. Because I just went to Books and Beyond. I don't know if you watched the last video or not. If you haven't, you should. But I just went there and I talked to some multi-million-dollar sellers that are doing this, and they're all saying that they don't even worry about the inventory accuracy when it comes to their books. They're tracking their inventory, they're handling their inventory, but when it comes to their bookkeeping, their accounting, they're not worried about that level of accuracy. They're just writing it off as all of it as cost of goods sold that year. They're doing it cash basis inventory system. That way, they're getting that full write-off for that inventory this year and everything. And they're not planning on exiting, you know. So the biggest thing is if you're running a business and you want to get bank loans, or you want to try to buy a house using this, then you need a level of accuracy like this in order to impress the underwriter, you know. But us as Amazon sellers, I mean, maybe some of us are using it to buy a house. That could be a possibility. But we're not looking to get bank loans. Where there's ways to get loans through Amazon, through other means. There's ways to get loans a lot easier than it is like through a bank. So we're not really looking at that. We're not really looking at selling our business, because it's really hard to sell a business that's built on top of Amazon. If there is a way, I'm sure there is. People I know that they've sold their Amazon business before, but if you are looking at that, then you may want to think about doing a level of accuracy like this. But the problem is with booksellers, doing it so accurate is just so time consuming that it's really not worth the effort, because doing all of this tracking, like I was just talking about, it's a lot. And if you try to hire someone like me and have me do something at this level of accuracy, I'm gonna charge you, and it's not gonna be cheap. But there's another way, and whenever I get the video, I have to clean up my books so that I can reflect what I'm talking about. But once I have that all cleaned up, I will put that linked somewhere right here. That way you can see the second option.